The circle of life, how nature and science work together to sustain life. This is Micaela Shane Z. Talagtag from Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Second year, Section F. At University of Rizal System by Thai College. Presenting a lecture video presentation discussing the importance of biodiversity and symbiosis of our society with science, nature, and its well-being. But in all seriousness, today, let's learn on the importance of biodiversity. Have you ever wondered what would happen if fishes disappear? Would it even matter? Think about it. Tiny creatures like bees, birds, and even microscopic bacteria play a huge role in our survival. Today, we'll explore the importance of biodiversity and the symbiotic relationship between society, science, nature, and well-being. As a nursing student, I've spent time in hospitals watching how life depends on delicate balances between organs, bacteria in our gut, and even the environment we live in. Just like in medicine, nature relies on a balance too. And when that balance is disrupted, we see consequences, not only in the natural world, but in human health as well. Understanding biodiversity. Biodiversity. It's a big word, but what does it really mean? At its core, biodiversity refers to the variety of all living organisms on Earth. Plants, animals, fungi, and even the tiniest microbes. These organisms don't just exist separately. They interact, creating a delicate balance that keeps ecosystem functioning. Imagine the human body. Every organ, every cell, and even the bacteria in our gut work together to keep us alive. Now, picture nature as a giant living organism. Forests, oceans, and grasslands are its organs, and all species, big or small, act like the body's cells, each playing a role in keeping the planet healthy. But what happens when the balance is disturbed? Let's break it down with some real-world examples. The first one is the Amazon rainforest as the lungs of our planet. Take the Amazon rainforest. It's often called the lungs of the earth. That's because it produces about 20% of the world's oxygen while absorbing massive amounts of carbon dioxide. Trees and plants in the Amazon act like the body's respiratory system, filtering the air and providing oxygen. But here's the problem. Deforestation is destroying these forests at an alarming rate. Every minute, an area the size of 3 football fields is lost. Imagine if your lungs lost 20% of their function. Breathing would become difficult, right? That's exactly what's happening to our planet. Losing biodiversity here means not only losing species, but also affecting the earth we breathe and the climate we depend on. The second one is coral reefs as the ocean's immune system. Now, let's dive underwater. Coral reefs are like the immune system of the ocean. They provide shelter for 25% of marine species, acting as the nurseries for fish, protecting coastlines from erosion, and even influencing global weather patterns. But warming oceans, pollutions, and overfishing are killing coral reefs at an alarming rate. Imagine if your immune system weakened, leaving you vulnerable to infections. That's what's happening in our oceans. Without reefs, fish populations decline, coastal communities lose food sources, and entire ecosystem collapse. The scary part? Scientists predict that 90% of coral reefs could be gone by 2050 if we don't take action. The third one is pollinators, nature's life support system. Think of pollinators such as bees, butterflies, and birds as nature's life support system. Without them, plants wouldn't have be able to reproduce and our food supply would take a massive hit. Over 75% of the crops we eat depend on pollinators. That means apples, almonds, coffee, and even chocolate exist thanks to these tiny creatures. But pesticides, habitat destruction, and climate change are wiping our pollinators at alarming rates. Imagine walking into a grocery store and finding half of the shelves empty. That's the reality we could face if pollinators disappears. The loss of biodiversity isn't just an environmental issue, it's a human survival issue. The fourth one is microbes, the hidden heroes of biodiversity. We often overlook one of the most important parts of biodiversity, that is microbes. They may be invisible to the naked eye, but they're everywhere, playing a crucial role in human health and the environment. So bacteria helps break down organic matter, enriching the soil so crops can grow. The second one is gut bacteria that helps digest food and boost our immune system. And some microbes even help prevent disease. Scientists have discovered bacteria in soil that can have antidepressant effects. But here's the problem. Pollution, deforestation, and climate change are disrupting these microbial communities. Losing microbes in the environment could mean weaker soil, lower food production, and even higher rates of disease. Think about it. Just as a hospital can't function without nurses, doctors, and medical staff working together, nature can't function without biodiversity. Every species, no matter how small, plays a vital role in keeping the planet and us healthy. So, what happens if biodiversity disappears? Just like a failing organ in our body, ecosystem starts to break down. Food chains collapse, natural disease controls weaken, and the systems we rely on, like clean air, fresh water, stable climates, begin to fall. Because at the end of the day, a healthy planet means healthy people. Now, let's talk about how biodiversity and human health are connected. Symbiosis, the connection between society, science, and nature. In nature, organisms form relationships that help them survive. This is called symbiosis. In the medical field, we see similar relationships all the time. Mutualism, for example, that means both benefit from one another. Just like the bacteria in our gut, help digest food while getting a safe place to live. Pollinators, like bees, helps plants reproduce while getting nectar. Without these relationships, our food supply would collapse, and in hospitals, patients would struggle with digestion problems if gut bacteria were eliminated. Commensalism, meaning one benefits and one is unaffected. Think of it as the bacteria on our skin that don't harm us but help prevent harmful microbes from taking over. Similarly, birds that build nests in trees don't harm the tree, but they gain shelter. Nature has the silent partnerships everywhere, just as medicine does. And last one is parasitism. One benefits and one suffers. This is the relationship we try to prevent in healthcare, like harmful bacteria infecting a patient. In nature, parasites like ticks or invasive species can damage the ecosystem, just like a virus can harm the body. We often think of hospitals, research labs, and pharmacies as the sources of medicine. But have you ever thought about where these life-saving drugs actually came from? Nature is our greatest pharmacy, and biodiversity plays a vital role in medical discoveries. If we lose biodiversity, we don't just lose plants and animals. We lose future cures for diseases, pain management solutions, and treatment that could save millions of lives. Let's look at some real-world examples of how biodiversity has shaped modern medicine. Imagine a world without antibiotics. No simple way to treat pneumonia, tuberculosis, or even a small infected wound. Many of our most important antibiotics were discovered thanks to biodiversity. The first one is penicillin. The first antibiotic was discovered in 1928 from Penicillium mold. Without fungi in nature, we might still be fighting deadly bacterial infections without an effective cure. The second one is streptomycin, used to treat tuberculosis and plague, and was found in soil bacteria called streptomyces. This tiny microbe has saved millions of lives. And here's the issue: deforestation and soil degradation are destroying these natural medicine sources before we can even study them. The next antibiotic resistant superbug could be defeated by a compound hidden in the rainforest. But what if that rainforest is gone before we discover it? The next one is cancer treatments from plants and marine life. Cancer is one of the leading causes of death worldwide, but nature has already provided us with powerful tools to fight it. The first one is Taxol, a widely used chemotherapy drug. Comes from the bark of the Pacific yew tree. If logging had wiped out this tree before scientists studied it, we wouldn't have this life-saving treatment today. The next one is cytarabine, used to treat leukemia. Comes from a sea sponge. Yes, the ocean holds medical treasures, and yet pollution and climate change are destroying marine life at an alarming rate. If biodiversity is lost, how many future cures will be lost with it? The third one is pain management and cardiovascular health. Pain relief and heart disease treatments also come from unexpected sources in nature. The first one is the Brazilian pit viper's venom, led to development of captopril, one of the most common blood pressure medication used today. The next one is cone snail's venom, inspired by ziconotide, a painkiller 1,000 times more potent than morphine, but without the risk of addiction. These breakthroughs show that even the most feared creatures like snakes and venomous snails could hold the key to treating human diseases. The fourth one is wound healing and regenerative medicine. Nature not only provides medicine but also inspires. The first one is mangrove trees, often cleared for land development. Contain antibacterial properties used in traditional medicine for wound healing. What if we're destroying a future antibiotic? The second one is axolotls, a type of salamander that can regrow entire limbs. Scientists are studying their genes to unlock potential treatments for human tissue regeneration. Imagine if we could one day heal amputations or severe burns the way axolotls do. This is why protecting biodiversity isn't just about saving animals. It's about advancing medical science. The fifth one is gut microbiome and mental health. Did you know that microbes play a huge role in digestion, immunity, and even mental health? The first one is probiotics, found in fermented foods like yogurt, kimchi, and kefir. Contain good bacteria that help prevent gastrointestinal diseases and boost the immune system. A soil bacterium called Mycobacterium vaccae has been shown to reduce anxiety and depression. This means exposure to nature like gardening or walking in the forest could actually lead improved mental well-being. Yet, modern lifestyles and pollutions are destroying microbacterial diversity, affecting human health in ways we don't fully understand yet. So, why does biodiversity matter? Because it's not just about protecting wildlife, it's about protecting our health, our future, and life saving medical discoveries. Without biodiversity, we lose potential cures for diseases. Without biodiversity, we weaken our immune systems and ability to fight infections. Without biodiversity, we risk losing the very medicines that keep us alive today. As a nursing student, I've seen firsthand how fragile human life can be. But just like how the body needs balance to survive, the planet does too. If we take care of our nature, nature will take care of us too. How can we protect biodiversity? Just like in medicine, it's always better to prevent problems than to fix them later. To safeguard the incredible variety of life on our planet, we need to take some proactive steps. Here are a few straightforward yet effective ways to help maintain biodiversity. The first one is reduce waste. One of the biggest environmental issues we face today is plastic pollution. Single-use plastics, think bottles, straws, and bags, often find their way into our oceans, harming marine life and throwing ecosystem out of balance. To tackle this, we can cut down on our plastic use by choosing reusable bags, containers, and bottles. Recycling, composting, and minimizing waste are also crucial in preventing further damage to our environment. By being mindful about reducing disposable items, we can make a real difference in protecting wildlife. The second one is support sustainable products. The choices we make when shopping can significantly affect our planet. By opting for sustainable sourced food, clothing, and medicines, we help ease the strain on natural habitats and endangered species. This means picking products that are grown or made using methods that protect the ecosystem, like organic farming or sustainable fishing. Keep an eye out for eco-certifications such as Fairtrade, Rainforest Alliance, or organic labels, as this often indicate that the product was created with minimal harm to the environment. By supporting businesses and farmers who prioritize sustainability, we encourage a shift toward more responsible consumption. The third one is protecting natural habitats. The loss of natural habitats like forests, wetlands, and coral reefs is a significant factor in the decline of biodiversity. It's essential for us to push for policies
that safeguard this crucial ecosystem, as they host a myriad of plant, animal, and microorganism species. You can play a part in conservation by donating to wildlife protection groups, getting involved in local restoration initiatives, and opting for products from environmentally responsible sources. Steer clear of supporting industries or companies that contribute to deforestation or habitat destruction. Additionally, advocating for and promoting conservation policies at both local and national levels is vital to ensure that these natural habitats are preserved for generations to come. The fourth one is educate others. Just like we inform patients about health in medical settings, it's equally important to raise awareness about the significance of biodiversity in our communities. By sharing insights on how human actions impact ecosystem and biodiversity, we can help people grasp the urgency of the matter. Teaching others about making eco-friendly choices, like cutting back on meat consumption to reduce our carbon footprint or selecting energy-efficient appliances, can motivate collective action. The more we spread the word about the importance of biodiversity, the stronger our collective effort to protect it will be. The last and the fifth one is support legislation and advocacy. Beyond individual efforts, pushing for robust environmental laws and policies is essential. Support legislation designed to protect endangered species, regulate pollution, and conserve vital habitats. Urging the government and industries to commit to lowering carbon emissions, safeguarding water resources, and investing in renewable energy. Your voice is crucial in shaping a future where biodiversity can flourish. By making small yet impactful changes in our daily lives, how we consume resources, and the way we educate those around us, we can make a real difference in preserving planet's biodiversity. If we join forces, we can protect ecosystems, ensuring the safety of wildlife and build a sustainable future for the generations that follow.
And to answer our opening question, so what would happen if fish disappeared? Without fish, ecosystem would collapse, leading it to food shortages, malnutrition, and economic crisis, while also hindering medical advancements that also rely on marine life. Just like in medicine, where every organ plays a crucial role, biodiversity maintains balance in nature, and losing fish would create a ripple effect that harms both the environment and human well being. As a nursing student, I see how everything is connected, just like how the human body functions. The natural world has systems that depend on each other. When we take our biodiversity, we take care of our health too. So let's be mindful of the balance in nature. just as we are mindful of the balance in medicine. The survival of one species could mean the survival of many, including us. Thank you for listening, and let's work together to protect biodiversity and our well being.